Welcome, Connor Bliss, the Debit podcast number 4.
Thanks for having me.
All good, all good. I thought I'd start off just some light chat. You've been watching the Olympics lately?
Yeah, absolutely. I can't get enough of it, although it's definitely testing the late bedtimes.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
How late were you up last night?
Last night I was pretty responsible. Had 3 big days recently, so definitely needed some sleep last night. So I put myself to bed. Maybe it was after Carrington won her 500 metre K500.
Yeah. Did you watch the semi as well during the All Blacks?
Didn't catch the semi. No, I was too engrossed in the All Blacks.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But that was, she's an absolute gun.
Oh,
yeah.
she's an animal, eh?
But she had that other, was it Amy Fisher? Was the other New Zealander.
They were hyping her up, man.
Yeah, a lot of hype for her, but didn't peak at the right time, obviously. Yeah, it was a bit disappointing to see her come fourth. Couldn't nip the bronze, but
It was close. She almost got the bronze.
it was. Yeah, that was where the attention, I think, was, because Lisa was away.
Yeah. The semi-final was nuts. I flicked it over during the All Blacks and she just smoked everyone.
True.
She's a beast. Like you say, goat in
Yeah.
the boat.
Yeah, golden arms. That's it.
She's also like physically jacked. Like,
Yeah.
there's a few. I searched her up online. And she's more shredded than me.
Absolutely. I was actually, I was really focusing on, when I was watching the final, I was really focusing on actually just the movement. They zoom in on the rower and it really does show, like, it's such a lat movement, you know, it's just directly this lat and tricep pull. And so, like, as a sports coach, coaching them to be the best they am, I mean, just chuck them in the gym, get them doing back all day.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like.
Funny you say that because I was literally doing that as well yesterday. I was doing those movements and I was going, what muscles was it? And yes, lats, but I was thinking there's actually a lot of arm strength too. Like I felt my triceps getting engaged and like biceps, forearms, everything.
And I guess that one technical bit is the rotation of the oar. Like, we're speaking like experts. Yeah, I know nothing about rowing, but yeah, just that movement analysis of the rotation of the oar, because you can't just deal with no rotation, otherwise you're never getting that.
But she makes it look so easy, eh? She just effortlessly just fucking smooth sailing through the water.
Yeah, it does seem like it takes a massive amount of effort to get up to speed, obviously from still.
Yeah.
And then, once she's humming, it's just into that rhythm, eh?
She's off.
That was awesome.
What other sports have been your favourites so far in the Olympics?
Massive highlight, especially waking up today, was Lydia Ko and her winning the gold in the women's golf. I'm a massive golfer, so yeah, that was very cool to see New Zealand at the top of the golf rankings. Yep. She's one of the greatest women to ever play golf. Yeah, the youngest ever to complete golf, pretty much. She's got all 3 medals now in the last 3 Olympics. Obviously, the gold being the most elite, and what a way to cap off. She's 27 and pretty much completed everything in golf. Ranked world number 1, the youngest to ever be. Yeah, so that was amazing to wake up to that news today. Again, she teed off at midnight, so couldn't catch most of that.
That's crazy to think. She's our age. It's like
literally our age, yeah.
All the stuff that she's achieved. It's just nuts.
It's weird getting into that late 20s. And everyone that's mega successful is sort of your age.
Yeah, exactly. UFC champions, it's just like people are on different paths in life.
Yeah, absolutely.
With golf in the Olympics, is there any special rules? You know how footy is like under 21s or whatever?
Yeah. It's pretty much, I think it's 2 representatives from each country. I'm not sure if you get 2 if you don't have enough good players, but like the males, the New Zealand men, we had 2. I think it was Daniel Hillier and Ryan Fox went over, and then Lydia Ko, and then I'm not sure if we sent another female over, but it's pretty much just the top golfers in the world just shoot at it again. But if you're the 3rd best in America, for example, or 4th best in America, you don't get a chance to go and represent.
Yeah, that's rough.
The Olympics. So only think about all the great American golfers there are. Only 2 of those guys got to go.
So do you know who won, the male?
Yeah, that was Scotty Scheffler. He's ranked number 1 in the world. He's been winning everything recently. So yeah, no surprises there.
Yeah, interesting. So did Tiger Woods win gold back in the day, I'm guessing?
I don't think golf was in the Olympics back then. I could be wrong, but I don't think golf has been in the Olympics for very long. I think it's only the last 3 years.
Right.
3 Olympics. Yeah, that it's been in, but I could be wrong.
Because even who's that old fella who's like gambler, loose unit golfer?
Phil Mickelson or John Daly.
Yeah, John Daly.
John Daly.
Imagine him in the Olympics, bro, in the Olympic Village, running riot.
Yeah, I could definitely see that going down. I've heard once the athletes finish their events, it becomes quite a party environment.
Right.
Because, 3 years of training, obviously now you've got no responsibilities. You can actually finally let loose.
Yeah.
And a drop of alcohol, I'm sure, goes a long way for them.
For sure. I was talking to Kyle about it yesterday, actually, on the way home from open mats, and literally saying that. Because the stigma is like heaps of people, link up, do the deed, create babies in the Olympic Village.
Yeah.
But I would say surely it's after. It'd be about now that everyone's events are coming to an end, right? They'll just be letting loose.
Yeah, pretty much. And I actually saw a funny video this morning. It was like a shooter talking to like a swimmer, after in the Olympic Village, and he goes, "Oh, like what do you do?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm a swimmer." Like, "Oh, what's your event?" 400-meter butterfly. "Oh, won gold actually." "Oh, what do you do?" "Oh, I'm like a shooter." That's all I do. I just shoot a gun. Yeah. It's just a different level of like who's the athlete there? They're both athletes in their own field, I guess, but one's physically more an athlete, one's I guess maybe a bit more mentally strong. But it's interesting when you compare. They're both at such a high standard,
Yeah, both at the top of their sport. But I get what you mean, because I've seen that Turkey guy. I'm sure you've seen it online. He's got a bit of belly and stuff, but he's clearly on point when it comes to his marksmanship. Yeah. But not quite an athlete.
Well, yeah, but from the eye, I mean, he could hide in plain sight. You could be a gold medalist at Olympic shooter, and you could just go to the supermarket and no one knows who you are because you're just an average looking Joe. Yeah. Whereas if you see Steven Adams walking through, you definitely know that he's an athlete,
I remember back in the day seeing Irene Van Dyke in the supermarket, and
True.
even her, I was like, wow, she's an athlete. You can tell she's a giant,
absolute beanpole with biceps.
My favourite sport in the Olympics so far has been table tennis.
True.
Okay. I mean, last 3 nights in a row, bro. Just been watching it, and it's awesome. Yeah. Have you ever watched it?
Yeah. No, I actually flicked someone last night just before bed. That was
the women's.
Yeah, it was a woman's. It was an Australian. Was it an Australian chick playing a Chinese chick? I'm not sure, but it was.
I think it was a Swedish.
It was Swedish.
South Korean maybe, or
Japanese. Easy to misinterpret the blonde hair. Yeah, for an Australian, but. That was actually, it's fascinating. I thought that woman was celebrating every miss of the other woman.
Right.
And it was a topic of conversation at the time where it's one of those sports where because you put so much topspin on the ball, you're forcing the other player to miss. And so you celebrate their miss. Mm-hmm. But in turn, you're sort of celebrating what you did to make them miss. If that makes sense.
Yeah, we're just celebrating winning the point, right?
Yeah. I at face value, it sort of looked like, yes, you fucked up. Like, yes.
I was watching the males, and to be fair, I was a lot more entertained. I was watching LeBron from France.
Yeah.
And they were playing the Chinese in the team event. The Chinese ended up taking out gold. But there's 2 brothers in the French team, LeBron, both of them, and they're like geeky looking with glasses, but man, they're good.
Yeah.
And same thing, it was real interesting watching it. After every point, they're like, yeah. And then it's so funny, bro, because they'll get a point, and they go scream, and then they'll hit the net and win a point, and they're like, sorry.
Oh,
because it's the etiquette of table tennis.
Yeah.
It's just so funny to watch though, eh?
Yeah, and so the doubles table tennis is it alternate shots?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't. It's not like you can hit just on your side and camp on one side.
Yeah, no, it's alternate. So it's a bit of a skill. You sort of have to hit it and then take a couple of back steps straight away, right? And get your other guy in front.
It's sort of like squash as well. It's alternate shots and doubles.
Right.
I think. You got a bit of table tennis back in the day, I remember, eh?
I did, back in Bernard's. That was fun, man. I had a good phase. Like, I used to go to Waterloo School, I think, on Friday nights for like actual table tennis club.
Yeah.
And for a while, I felt like I was getting pretty good. So, I don't know, it's a cool sport to play.
Yeah, you had a real nice bat.
I did.
It was like had a proper case.
Bro, it was funny. That was for the season I played for Bernard's. But there was some Chinese kid, I forgot his name, and his dad was the coach. And that, bro, it's so serious. And they had like their own bats that they like made themselves. Like they would put their own grips on and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just remember the spin that he could put on his bat was unreal.
Yeah.
Because it was like custom made.
Yeah.
But it was good because I played as number 2 in our team. So it's like you go and table tennis is like a team event. You go in teams of 4 or whatever, and then you play, say, another school that has 4, and I was number 2, so I would play the other school's number 2.
Yeah.
And the Chinese kid was number 1. So
I
it was good because he would face the top guys, and I would sort of get the.
Yeah.
I was sitting in the right place, and Jamie Curtis was number 3.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
That sounds like a bit of Batman and Robin, by the way. Yeah.
Oh, it's good. And then number 4 was some random dude. But it was good fun, man.
Nice.
Enjoyed my table tennis career.
Yeah. I did a very similar thing to you back. I was, hanging out with Lincoln Craig quite a bit back in school, and we used to go down to the Belmont Domain Hall for table tennis club. And I did that probably maybe 6 weeks in a row. Got into a bit of a phase then.
Nice.
And I remember it was a hall set up with maybe 10 table tennis tables, and everyone would just come and you just play for 2 hours, and then that would be it. And there would be a ranking like system. So if you played a game against each other, you went over to the board, put your wins or losses every week. The seeds would be updated. Your ranking in the hall would be updated, and so you could like work your way up to be the top in the little club that they had. It was quite an interesting setup. I never knew how many people were into table tennis until coming across that. Yeah,
it's just a whole nother world, eh?
Yeah, but I guess you go into so many other little nooks of society, and there's actually quite a lot of people involved in these tiny communities. I mean, I never knew about jiu-jitsu and the massive amount of people that do it. You go to the gyms on a Saturday morning, the open mats that you go to, and how many people go to those on a busy day?
Yeah, well, winter is definitely a lot more quiet. Yesterday there was probably like 20-ish people.
Yeah.
But in the summer, man, it can get busy. There could be like 30, 40 people. And I know at Monty's gym there's heaps, like 50 people on the mats.
Yeah. So even so, outside of my friend group, I don't know one person that does jiu-jitsu, So I guess that's the point I'm trying to make is you go into all these little different nooks in society, and there's actually a massive pot of people that are into that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Well, watching the Olympics is a bit like that because you see sports that you've never even watched in your life.
Yeah.
Like last night I was watching diving. There was like all these men doing like these quadruple flips and then diving into the water, and it's like the crowd's hyped up, going nuts. Clearly, they have a following, right? But I don't know anyone that does diving.
Yeah. How do you even practice or get good or know that you're good at some of these sports like pole vaulting?
That's very niche. You'd have to. It's almost like your parents would have to put you in that from a young age.
Yeah.
It's like Project Mbappe type style, It's like, son, you're going to be a pole vault champion. Yeah, it's a real random one.
It is. There's definitely a few of that, like the slalom. What's that? Is that a winter sport? No. What's the thing where they shove in the...
Oh, the bobsled?
Bobsled, yeah. That's nuts.
That's winter sports.
That's winter sports too. But again, how do you get into that kind of stuff?
Yeah, crack up. That's very niche.
Yeah. There's a handful of those.
Yeah, there is. I was thinking last night after watching the diving, a cool sport would be like a Manu Championship. Imagine if that was in the Olympics. Because honestly, the whole point of diving is like the minimal splash is better.
Yeah.
So if you have no splash, you get a mean score.
Yeah.
But I was like, just as a random viewer, I'm like, okay, it's cool. They're doing flips and it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
But also it'd be cool seeing like a huge 150 kg bloke just jumping off like a 3-meter thing and doing a massive Manu. And then, them having all the graphics of like how high the water splash went.
They could get some proper good graphics going.
Yeah. I reckon that'd be awesome.
Like the highest molecule of water.
Yeah, exactly. Like you could just see it. Like they do offsides and footy and stuff for VAR. You can do that for the Manu.
And like how high you jump, and all those different scoring systems you could actually implement in that too, I reckon. Yeah. Because they did the Manu Championships in Wellington. They did it around, I think Piriwepu hosted them around New Zealand last summer. Yeah.
But did they go ahead? Because that real tragic thing happened, right?
There was it was a death in the Wellington waterfront. The morning of.
Yeah, that's sad.
I think they did just postpone it. They didn't completely can the event. Yeah, there was quite a few sponsors and a proper, it was going around the whole country. So
right,
I think it did continue. Yeah.
Wasn't it literally in the exact spot that they were doing it?
Yeah,
was it like near the crane?
Hours before the first round. Yeah.
Was it someone trying to practice?
I don't know. Yeah. Crazy story though.
Yeah, it's sad, man. Okay, moving into a different topic: boxing, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai. You've recently been getting into a bit of boxing and Muay Thai.
Yeah, yeah.
How are you finding that?
It's really fun. It's definitely the hardest part of my week, and try and I try and what's the word? Like grab it with two hands, and take advantage of how hard I find it. It's sort of like most of me's like I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? I don't want to go and get punched in the face and learn to punch people in the face. I've never been in a fight before in my life. I'm a pacifist at heart. Never thrown a punch at anyone before, and so I guess that's why I wanted to start doing it was because I want to know how to defend myself if things come up. And it's like you've been a massive inspiration for me to like a really good support person to go with. You've like invited me to your gym that you go to, and training with you up just one-on-one sessions up in Les Mills to just get my confidence up before actually going to the session sometimes. It's been a massive confidence boost for me. I just find it hard to fit it into my schedule, I guess, and it's easy for me to find excuses not to go because it is that hardest part of my week, But every time I go, every time I come out of that session, I feel amazing, and the next day I feel amazing. The endorphins hit, and I feel confident about myself. My body feels good. There's so many positives to it. It's just the scheduling, and if I really want to prioritize being good at that, and if I want to continue training for a long period of time, with all my other passions, so it's a constant battle.
I reckon it's cool that you're getting into it, and it's cool that you have to overcome that adversity to go.
Yeah,
That's surely growing that part of your brain. The words lost me, but there is a part of your brain that when you do things that you don't want to do, it grows.
Yeah,
it just makes you better at other things in life too.
Resilience, I guess that word come to mind. It definitely does build that part in me, but it's amazing how it doesn't get easier every single Tuesday. Like when you're about to go down, it doesn't get easier every single time. For me, anyway, it hasn't gotten very much easier noticeably. It's only been maybe 4 sessions I've been to this side of this year. Because I think it was maybe a year ago. I started from nothing and I came to maybe like 5 or 6 again. But again, when summer hits, my cricket training and cricket coaching really does take up 90% of my week in my spare time, which that is my true passion. That's where I want to have a career in coaching and sport management, I guess. So that is my priority, I guess. And it's hard to take away from that,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's cool that you get into it. And it's funny you say the endorphins you get, because I still get them to this day. I've been doing it a long time. But it's always after sparring, which I'm guessing is the same for you.
Yeah, absolutely. The pad work's cool. It's nice to do some, get the reps in and figure out the movements and figure out the what's the word? It's the pattern, right? Like I always throw a left hook and then I'll throw my left kick, which mechanically is not correct, right? You want to go opposites to try and get that torque and all that. So it's nice to practice on the pads. But when you've actually got like yourself coming at me, and if I don't put my arm down, I'm gonna get, So I don't know. And it does feel like real life. I know it doesn't maybe look at when we record the sessions and look back, it looks like we're going 20%.
It's funny how that happens. Like you're like, I had a crazy run with this person. And you watch the footage, you're like, that doesn't even look that bad.
Like I swear I got clipped and like literally nothing happened.
Yeah.
Like I came out one day with a real sore jaw because I thought that I didn't. Like we wear mouth guards, and the gloves are pretty big, 16-ounce gloves.
16 ounce, yeah. Except for your ones.
I don't wear them for sparring. They're just like came out ones I wear for pads. But always swap them out for 16-ounce when we spar. Put the mouth guard in and just must have been tired and had my mouth open, so not clenched, and just got clipped. And I thought it was a decent hook that got me, and my jaw was sore for the next 2 days. I couldn't really chew food. And I go back and look at the tape, and it's literally, you can't even see the punch. So what a shame.
It's funny because that's literally what happens in the UFC. It's more the shots that you don't expect. So like if you see something coming, you can twitch up, tense, and then you don't get it as much. But it's the ones you don't see coming that snap your neck to the side, just that little inch.
Yeah.
Pull something. Obviously, that happened with your jaw. You probably just had it hanging, and then boom.
Yep. Gasping for air.
Yeah. It's good though. I'm glad you're coming. It's cool to see you push through that, because I obviously know that you like struggle in some of those situations. So it's cool that you're pushing yourself.
Yeah.
Building up that resilience.
Yeah. And it's nice to have you as a sounding board. Most after sessions, we do some voice messages and reflect on the session.
Good, eh?
Yeah, it is good. Yeah.
I do that with heaps of the boys. I always do it with Maddie too. It's good. I think it's good studying and reviewing footage as well of you sparring, because you can improve a lot by doing that.
Absolutely. I
always get in trouble from the missus, because we come home from training and then I sit down on the couch and like watch all the footage, and she's like, "Weren't you just there doing that? Like, why do you have to watch yourself?" I'm like, "I'm studying." Leave me alone.
It's amazing how sometimes, how just it feels so different than what it looks, And I think back to the first time coaching, just to change the topic completely, the first time coaching cricket to 5 to 8 year olds. So was up in Palmerston studying and worked for Manu Cricket and took some holiday programs for some 5 to 8 year olds, and they have never thrown a ball, even bowled a ball, right? Bowled a cricket ball. And so the thing with bowling a cricket ball, you must keep your arms straight to be legal. And for a 5 to 8 year old, they've never done such a thing ever in their life if their parents have never pushed them into the cricket movements, right? And for these kids to do this movement for the first time, you may show them 1,000 times and they may mirror you in their head. They're mirroring what they think they're seeing, but they're doing this and they don't know until you actually physically open their arms out for them and get them to do the rotation with the straight arm, get them to literally feel like do what, force them to do it in the correct way. Now they have felt what they're doing. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I definitely know what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm explaining it a bit clunky, but just that, like, you don't know what it feels like or what it looks like until you actually look at it, and then you can then review it.
So if you were to apply that in the boxing sense, you're saying you could watch. So you've never boxed in your life. You could watch all these videos on how to duck and weave, blah, blah, blah. And then you go to do it and you're like, wow, this doesn't feel natural. I don't understand how to do this. Yeah,
well, you can watch and try and mirror someone and you may think that you're doing it. And then you look at a video of you doing it and you are doing absolutely nothing like what they're doing. And then you realize that, it's actually like the golem, like do it 10 times more than you think you're doing it. Like just accentuate it. And then watch the footage again and see.
It is interesting in the cricket sense that you say, because it does seem very unnatural to bowl the ball like a cricketer. Like a kid wouldn't just naturally do that, right?
No.
I feel like every human can naturally throw a rock or something, like just a standard throw. But doing that straight arm bowling movement is very unnatural.
It is. Some people say nearly you can like throw a ball quicker doing the straight arm. I mean, think about a baseball throw. It is. You can throw faster. That is fact, but it's just about as quick. I mean, think of the fastest cricket bowlers there are. They throw it down at 150 kilometers per hour.
That's wild.
And a baseball, I think they're around 160, 170 maybe.
Right. Different weights.
Different weight ball, yeah. Different size ball, but I mean, still roughly the same numbers in the sense of ratios. So I don't think you're losing power. I think maybe there's different injuries at risk there. Throwing your elbow is more at risk. Bowling your shoulders definitely in the back is more at risk. But it's definitely an unnatural movement, and it
looks brutal on the body.
Yeah, God knows why people love fast bowling, because it does look brutal. You're right on the body. People can only do it for so many years at a high level, and.
Because you watch, is it Lockie Ferguson?
Yeah.
He bowls like 140 or something, eh?
Yeah, he's a 150 bowler, and he can't do it for more than 4 overs at a time. Yeah.
Well, you watch him, and it's like, there's just so much, I don't know, there's so much kinetic energy, I guess, going into that bowl, and then it all just stops. When he throws it, and you just see everything just jolt, and it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Just jolting everything in his body.
Yeah, and there's quite a bit of back arch in a fast bowler's action, and that's where the injuries come from. Is that severe back arch, and you're sort of flinging your torso over your hips to then create a lot of that energy and transfer that energy through the legs up into the arm, up into the fingertips. So that's where a lot of bowlers actually need to be the strongest in, is the core and the arse, really, for that injury prevention. And yeah, I mean, still down to 2024 now, with sports science at the level that it is, we still can't have fast bowlers bowling at 150 plus for long periods of time, because the demands on the body is just too much. Yeah. So
it's like sprinting, right? You can only sprint for so long.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, to take back to that initial point though, the bowling movement is so strange. It is. And to get kids to do that, to learn that movement, most of the time you actually need to use your hands and put them into that movement, like get them into that straight arm T movement, and physically help them to do that the first couple of times, because they don't know what it feels like. They don't know how to do it.
Is that what's the word I'm looking for? Is that like a fulfilling feeling for you as the coach, like watching kids figure out how to do it, and like you've literally just taught them how to do a new skill?
Yeah, it's very satisfying. I think the most satisfying is when, it ticks boxes when you can see them do it for the first time when they've never done it. That's cool. But I think the biggest rewarding feeling is when they go away for the weekend and they have a game, or they just live their life, and then they come back for the next session the next week and they're 10 times better. That's the cool thing, is they've done it in their own time, and they've obviously improved vastly over the week. And yeah, kids just get so much better so quickly. So that was the cool thing to see when I had a little team going, and I would see that team get better over the 5-week period. Yeah, that was probably the most rewarding thing.
So when were you doing that? Oh, you said in Palmy, eh?
Yeah, that was when I was studying up in Palmerston. Yeah, after school. So that was 2016 to 2019.
And lately you've been coaching the women's cricket, Taita Cricket Club, is it?
Yeah. So the last 4 years I've been the coach of the T20 Taita women's team. So it's been a relatively social team to coach, but it's so fun. They're a fantastic group of ladies, mainly from the Avalon Rugby Club. So they all mainly know each other. I mean, now they're a couple of seasons and keeping the same group together, which is really cool. We have a training session once a week. I can't make their games because they play at the same time I do. But yeah, constantly in communication with them and getting updates and trying to figure out work-ons for the next training sessions. I really enjoy coaching them because they really enjoy being coached. And so that's a massive part of it.
They want to learn.
Yeah, I'm how do I say that? More so less. More less than so. I don't know. I'll show up to training and they will ask me questions, and they'll say, hey, I want to do this. Hey, I want to do that. And that's so awesome, pretty much a self-governed team, and I'm just there answering questions, and that's really what it's about. Yeah.
Well, that's how it should be. I guess that's where it's easier coaching adults than sometimes kids. Because I mean, I've done a bit of like teaching in my time to kids, and sometimes they don't want to learn, and it's it's quite frustrating.
Yeah.
Hard to overcome.
Yeah.
But if people want to learn, it's a lot easier to teach them.
Yeah, and I've just actually come out of my my career coaching level 2 course a couple of weeks ago, and that course was talking about high school kids and upskilling high school kids and developing like already keen cricketers. My course I did last year, which was my level 1, that was more based on kids training and really just getting involvement from kids. And that's hitting exactly what you're talking about. It's mainly in the enjoyment and the involvement. When you went to PE as a kid, you said to T.Y. Pitapi, sir, can we play a game? Sir, can we play a game? It was never, that's all you wanted to do, is play games.
Yeah, the classroom sessions in PE were the worst. It's like, well, what do you mean classroom session? This is PE.
Exactly. Up there learning about, some funky bone names, as a 15-year-old, 14-year-old kid. You just want to be in the gym or outside playing football or playing a game. No, and so that was sort of what the whole course was about, was designing games and activities or games, taking away the word drill. There's no such thing as a drill anymore. Now you turn it into a game and add some constraints to then highlight some skills that you want to work on. But you're just creating a game. and then you're explaining the game, and then the kids play the game. And if you set it up correctly, then you can get them to do these skills that you've want them to do instead of doing it drills. For example, if it's running between the wickets, doing like, in cricket, you hit and then you run. You could set up a tee and get them to hit and then have pairs doing a running race between each other. And the fielders are just fielding, they're playing cricket, they're fielding it in, and it's a race between the fielders and the batters, see how many runs they can get. You've taken away the variable of the bowling and the batting. They're just hitting off a cone. Now you've just isolated the skill of running between the wickets. Now that just becomes an instant game to them. They're just doing a race between their mates. But you haven't told them about how to turn the bat, how to slide the bat, how to do everything the fastest way possible. They're already thinking that because they want to beat their mate, They want to beat their bro. So it's sort of that you're governing the learning by creating a game for them, and then you're getting them to self-teach, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. So that's specifically to high school students.
It's honestly, it's the same model from if I'm teaching a 5-year-old kid his first ever cricket session, and he just wants to hit the ball. You could model that, and you can also model it for the Black Caps.
It's interesting, because I just applying it into my own sports. Everyone goes on about how important drilling is, but do you think that's just an old mindset?
Yeah, it is an old mindset, but I think at the same time you're talking about MMA, mixed martial arts, and things like that.
I'm thinking specifically like jiu-jitsu, like drilling an arm bar or something.
Yeah, I don't know how you can replace that, and I think there is still place for drills in every aspect. I think to take it back to cricket, you can always, as a batter, just get 100 balls thrown at you, and there's value in that, So there's a place for that. I guess going to your example, the armbar drilling. Is there a way you could modify the armbar drill to make it a game?
Yeah, well,
make it a competition.
So for my style of learning, I need to be hands-on. Like I can't be told. I can't sit there and listen to someone telling me what to do for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like I just need to do it. So I guess in the jiu-jitsu sense, the old school people will be like, okay, we're drilling an armbar, but it's not live drilling. So it's like your opponent is just there with a floppy arm and you're just doing the movements.
Yeah.
But a lot of gyms nowadays do live drilling, they call it. So it's like, all right, we start in the armbar position, and it's like, go. And then it's just like a live drill. The guy's trying to get out, I'm trying to armbar him.
But you start in the compromised position of you're already there.
Exactly. So we are going to drill that armbar, but for me, that's way more engaging.
Yeah.
So I guess, is that a game in a sense,
Well, because now you can lose. You can not get the armbar.
Yeah,
the guy could slip out. And so now that's 1-0 to him. Best of 5.
Yeah,
and then swap.
That's perfect.
Awesome. Now we've got a game, all right? Like, now you've turned a drill into a game. That's exactly what these courses were talking about is just use your planning a bit more. Think about the drills a bit more. Turn them into a game. Bring some competitiveness into it. That's it. Like, people forget in training to be competitive. Like, you train how you play. Well, everything we do is competitive in a sporting sense. There's always a winner, there's always a loser. Why would you create a training session when there's no winners and no losers? You should always have winners and losers. It's a good thing. Competition is good. You grow from losing, you grow from winning. And I think when you have a training scenario, when you're just going through the motions and it's just, there's lack of care, you're just getting no value from any training session in any field of anything. You know what I mean? You must have a purpose. You must try and win. And if you are trying to win, you must be able to lose,
I fully agree, bro. Yeah. That's, I don't know, I got lights going off in my brain. It's like, next time I try to teach a session, I'll try and apply some of that.
Yeah.
It's so true.
Yeah. And I just find that it's amazing to hear that from, I was very privileged enough to do my level 2 coaching course with Devin Conway. He's a black cap, one of the best batsmen in the world. And he was just on the course with us. So I ran through a couple of coaching scenarios with him. And so we were figuring out coaching scenarios and figuring out a game to make for the next training session, if you will. And he would tell me stories about how Gary Stead, the Black Caps coach, would make this game for him as a wicketkeeper. And he would say bounce catch, and he wouldn't allowed to leave the ground until the ball bounced and he said bounce. So it just made these mental like landmarks in his head for movement. And I don't know, just he had to do it, and he had to say the word bounce and then get up after he said bounce, and he had to do that 6 times out of 10 for it to be a tick, you know. So he was playing this internal game with himself, and I just thought, yeah, like already you've turned a drill into a bit more of a game. You can lose that, you can win that if he does it.
But is it also creating urgency in his movements and stuff?
Yeah, and purpose. You can't just go through the motions in that scenario. You have to be active, you have to be present, and you have to be like communicating and physically moving. You're getting so many things out of that.
And then it's locked into muscle memory, right? And then when it happens in the actual game, you just boom.
You're there without even thinking about it. You don't have to go bounce catch. It's just da-da, and you've done everything right, you know? Yeah.
That's awesome that you had Devin Conway in your course.
Yeah, it was.
How lucky were you?
Yeah, it was very cool. And to have, I guess, like we've like able to like reach out to that group of members that did that coaching course throughout the next like season or two, and bounce ideas off each other if we're struggling. It's quite a nice environment Wellington Cricket has made for the coaches. Well, New Zealand cricket really. They've stepped up their game big time recently with their coaching support. Yeah.
So did you get paired up with Devin Conway? Were you batting alongside him and asking tips from him and stuff?
Yes, we're in a group of 12 roughly, and just after the first night session, my name was next to his just by chance, and they said, tomorrow we're going to come in and do some coaching scenarios, and like, here's your scenarios, take a photo of your scenario and think about it overnight, and these are your pairs, and then like get into it in the morning. So me and Devin talked about the scenario before leaving, and then like first thing when we came in the next morning, we got together, had a coffee, and discussed what kind of like scenarios we would put to the team if we were coaching that session. I asked him, I just had so much spare time with him where I could just ask him anything, like, what's your pre-shot batting routine? And he just completely, fully engaged in that conversation with me, which was so cool, you know, like he didn't have to do any of that. He didn't have to give me the detail he had. He did, but
that's awesome.
He went through everything from 0 to 100, and it was cool to get little nuggets of information that I can hold on to, I think.
He probably appreciated it too, because it goes back to learning. It's like you clearly wanted to learn from him.
Yeah.
So he feels like he's giving back, you know, to this cricket community.
I think so, and he was there for a reason, right? He's there to get his coaching cert, and so he's there to give back, as is. And so, maybe he did bounce off that energy I was giving him. I was definitely, maybe one point, I was like, Devon Conway, you know.
Starstruck.
But apart from that, I think I was pretty composed and like did really want to just chat to him like a guy, and try and make him comfortable, I guess, which was I think we all achieved that as a group, because
Nice.
it is quite an interesting scenario being world famous, going into a very normal environment around normal people that definitely know you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And he was so quiet that first night, didn't really want to talk to anyone, or didn't go out and talk to anyone because, well, I came to the course with a guy from Taita Cricket, you know, so I knew someone. Everyone else came with someone from their club. He was the only person that came just with no one, really. But everyone knew him.
And if anything, he probably feels more awkward talking to people because people probably interact with him weirdly. Like there's just, you know, weird convo because they're a bit starstruck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or they'll just say something about his personal life that he's never said to them because he's never met you before, but you know that already.
Yeah.
Like, that's got to be weird.
Karen and the kids?
Yeah,
I have no idea who you are.
So that's got to be weird for well-known people, I'm sure.
So did you make Devin Conway a coffee?
He made me a coffee. Yeah,
Did he?
Actually. He just went to tip the instant coffee straight in. And I was like, whoa, hold up. I'm like a half scoop. Yeah. But no.
So what is he, like a 4-scoop coffee guy?
He was like he said he had a long morning. Yeah, so I won't go into the details of his long morning, but he was on 3 scoops that morning.
True, that's wild.
Yeah.
Mate, you should have taken it. All right, Devin Conway does it.
Yeah,
as well.
True. I tipped some out in front of him. I was like, I'm not a mad dog.
Let's crack up. Another thing I want to talk to you about, just getting away from cricket, is music. Music's been quite a big part of your life, right?
Yeah, massive.
What age did you get into music? Or tell me, what instruments can you play?
So I started playing ukulele when I was a kid. I've got some early footage of, mum's band giving me a ukulele as a kid and fiddling around on it. But I don't really remember playing any other instruments until I was probably about 12 or 13. My sister came home with a guitar from school and she was fiddling around on it. And I don't know, I maybe got jealous or I just wanted to give it a crack. So yeah, gave it a crack of my own, and it was mainly self-taught. I had some lessons up at this person's house up the street from mine. I went on Sunday mornings, but that was, I always felt that was very like I was held in a box, and I had to do these things, and I liked being free and just searching up a song and trying to copy a guy on YouTube. So yeah, I played guitar ever since I was 12, 13, I guess, and performed live, sung a song at a pub with my mum's band when I was 14.
Wow.
And yeah, ever since then I've sort of never looked back. I've always been playing ever since I can. Everywhere I can, get an audience to watch me, or if there's a spare spot at mum's band when she's playing at the pub. But no, I picked up piano in the last years of school. So yeah, love twiddling on the keys. Mum's got a mandolin that I can have a fiddle with.
That's pretty cool being from a family that's into instruments, right?
Yeah.
Just being able to pick what you want to do.
Yeah, I've had the privilege of being in a very musical family. Mum's been in bands my whole life, most of her life. So yeah, I've grown up with going to gigs and like mum's gigs and seeing mum up on stage, and yeah. So
gives you the confidence. Do you reckon that's something you're born with or something you can practice and work your way into?
I think it's definitely practiced and worked into. I don't know why I did that first performance as a 14-year-old kid, but I must have been pushed into it because, yeah, I remember being very nervous doing it. I cracked a high, my voice cracked. My teacher was there, my year 7 teacher, Hamish Sutherland, his partner and newborn baby actually at the time. They came to watch me, which was very special for me, like to have my teacher there who had a very good bond with. He was a fantastic teacher. So that was cool for him to become, that was a big moment for me. And my sister was there, and I remember she laughed when I cracked the high, which put me off, and I had to look away. So I remember that moment, and it was very high intensity, heart was pumping.
Yeah, because it would be weird, when you get adrenaline, you're like a bit shaky and stuff. And if you're playing guitar and you're shaky, surely that would be affecting you.
And it does, yeah. And yeah, there's been some moments now that I think where those shakes have been very noticeable, and I get the hand sweats and the guitar doesn't feel the same as what it usually does. And I'm really just going off muscle memory. And I could just about close my eyes and get it done. That's the familiarity I've got with it, which I'm so thankful for, because if you don't have that familiarity with it, things could go south very quickly and you could lose your place, I guess. And yeah.
Those years of practice, right?
Yeah. I try and pick up the guitar every day. So give it a twindle.
I reckon it's just I always got to relate shit back to martial arts because it's just my own personal experiences.
Of course, yeah.
But I feel like it is very similar in the fact that it's something that you need to be consistently doing. And it's also something I would say that you have moments where you get frustrated, especially in the early days. You're like, I'm just not getting this. Like, it's just, this isn't for me.
Yep.
Those thoughts go through your brain.
Absolutely. There's a day I remember, and I wish I could tell you the date of it because that would be pretty cool. But I remember the day where I must have been 15 or 16. I was trying to learn the song Let It Go by The Passenger. And that's a very intricate guitar riff at the start. And maybe I was a bit younger, but I remember I was learning it, trying to learn it, and it was so frustrating. I just could not get that. I could get the notes, but I couldn't get it smooth, and I couldn't get it to ring nice, and I couldn't get it to actually sound how I wanted it to sound in my head. And was probably doing it for a week, just straight every evening for a couple of hours, just trying to learn this riff. I went to sleep one day. I woke up the next day. I could do it, and it was perfect.
That's crazy.
And it was just amazing. Like, just that sleep just like cemented that muscle memory in myself, and yeah, the next day I could do it. Yeah, so that's there's definitely those struggles, and it happens very often. I would say now, because I've been playing for a long time, that week of struggle is now maybe just shortened. Now those struggles only last maybe a day or two, maybe a couple of hours of me struggling with a riff or struggling with a song, and then I'll just click and find a way to do it. Yeah, definitely you hit those roadblocks or those, yeah.
No, that's awesome. I think for me, I'm really big into music as well, but it's almost like spiritual in a way, what music can do to you. Like, it's crazy that you can just be in a normal mood and you listen to a sad song and all of a sudden you just get like all these emotions. Or you need pumping up, so you listen to like, you know, a song with like high beats and you're like, yeah, I'm ready to go. Yeah. But it's crazy what music can do to you, man. Yeah.
It is very interesting. It's that it changes the chemical balance in your brain some way.
And that's why I say it's almost spiritual in a way, because it's just hard to explain that feeling that it can give you.
Yeah, it is. That change in moods is amazing. I think I sent a message to the boys chat only last week. I was like, this riff is the best riff of all time. I can't remember what it was now. Was it it's Dire Straits. You definitely heard it. Brothers in Arms or something.
You were saying actually at the gym the other day what you grew up listening to Dire Straits because your parents were into them.
Yeah.
Because our convo, sorry to cut you off, our convo,
this is good.
Which was a random one, but it was like, if you listen to music, if your baby listens to music while it's in the womb, you know, when it comes out later in life, do you think that it could recognize those music patterns?
Yeah.
Like, will my kid in 5 years' time listen to a Zach Bryan song that I listen to on repeat and be like, I like that song, but I don't know why I like it.
Yeah.
But the reason being is they've heard it a million times.
Yeah, or just resonate with that type of music, yeah.
And then I was asking you, did that happen in your life? And you said Dire Straits was that person for you, right?
Yeah, and I can't say if it's subconscious in my like adult brain or it was because of that. I know that I've grown up with my parents saying they love Dire Straits, you know, and now when I hear it, it could even be a song that I haven't heard from Dire Straits, but I just know that is the type of music they play, or I just know the kind of guitar sounds, or I know the kind of voice that Kofner has, and I'll just, resonate with that kind of music. Definitely quicker than other types of music. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't tell if that's, that subconscious brain just doing that already, you know?
I would think it's, music's definitely one of those ones that sometimes you have to listen to a song 4 or 5 times, and then you're in love with it.
Yeah.
There is other songs you listen to first time, you're like, wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
But some, it just takes a while to click in your brain.
Yeah.
Your brain to recognize the patterns, I guess. I had it as a kid as well. Like, old man always listened to David Gray, and like mum would listen to Big Room and stuff at night, and I could still listen to both those people today and just be calmed by that music, I guess. Yeah. Memories of childhood.
It's actually amazing that you say how music can change your mood. The first thing I thought of that was how music can like literally alter my mood so much in the sad way. And I'm not a big fan of feeling sad. And there's been a couple of like events in my life where certain songs really do take me back, and I actually really avoid those. Recently anyway, I've been still avoiding them from like those tough moments in my life. Like, as tough as they are, the hardest thing that's happened to you is the hardest thing that's happened to you, obviously. But
correct.
There's still a list of songs that I don't go near because I know that takes me back to those moments, you know, which is amazing. Like, just the knowledge of the power of those songs that I don't even go near them.
They trigger memories, eh?
Yeah, that I'm, I guess, not after yet. I'm not after reflecting yet.
I definitely know that you don't like sad songs because I don't know, it seems to be my genre. I wouldn't say sad songs, but just softer acoustic songs. And I'm always like, Blissy, listen to this artist. And you're like,
Yeah.
nah, I don't want to borrow that at the moment.
And honestly, I mean, 4 years ago, I would have been, I was all over it, you know? And it's just, yeah, I guess, yeah, a couple of heartbreaks, and I don't really want to go down that path of facing that again yet, I guess. Yeah, it's a funny old block in my head for it. But Ed Sheeran released a album that I still haven't listened to. He's like one of my favorite artists of all time, and I still haven't listened to his like Sadio album that he released like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, maybe a bit longer than that. Just because I know that it's a sad album, and I know that he talks about stuff that's not very happy, and I don't know, I haven't craved that kind of music just yet. I'm still on the drum and bass and high octane music. Yeah, going into a bit of rock at the moment. But yeah, it's just the influence of music on your emotions is crazy.
That's wild. I wonder what a clinical psychologist would say about that.
Yeah,
like,
should I face it or not?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Like, are you avoiding those? Do you need to just listen to it, get it out of your system to overcome that trauma or whatever you've been through, or is it better to just stay in a positive mindset?
Yeah, is shutting things out always good? I think it's good sometimes, but is it always good? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely good sometimes because, like you say, you don't want to be sad all the time.
Yeah, and you know, I know some songs that flip my mood the other way, right? Make me absolutely stoked to do anything. So I could just truck and trailer those songs, go a sad song and then go a happy song.
I don't think it'd be the same, eh? Like when you listen to Have Song, I think you have to be in a good mood, and then you vibe way more with it.
Yeah,
you know, like driving down a country road, and you're listening to some country road song. It's just you just vibe with it way more.
Yeah.
Like I see Monty's in Texas and Utah and stuff, and he's listening to country music. But he's clearly vibing with it, right? It's like the scenes.
Yeah.
Around the Grand Canyon.
Literally that Morgan Wallen, Post Malone song. That's like right now such a go-to feel-good song.
True.
Yeah.
I see. I think Saf went to a Morgan Wallen concert.
Yeah.
Which is over there.
MGK comes out for an hour.
Wild.
Yeah. What, like polar opposites?
And Monty was just training jiu-jitsu.
I think because I saw a podcast only like 4 days ago, where MGK and Jelly Roll were doing something together.
True.
So like MGK is going around a bunch of these country artists, obviously at the moment, which I just thought that was funny. Yeah, saw like a link just from the boys chat and then the Joe Rogan podcast. It was like
popped up.
Same thing, and like talking about Mount Zion at the same time. Monty was up going for a hike there.
True.
I was like, I haven't heard Mount Zion be talked about once in my life. And then Josh brings it up, and then the podcast that I was doing brings it up. Yeah, that was real interesting.
Yeah, that's fuzzy. I saw this morning actually. Taylor showed me Post Malone's about to drop a new album.
True.
3 days or something on Spotify. When you listen to it, it's actually got a countdown. It's like new album coming in 3 days. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, because he has been tapping into a lot of country stuff recently.
Oh, I love Post Malone, man.
So yeah, I think his voice is amazing. So yeah, I'll be looking forward to that.
And his career path. So I remember way back in the day, like he had those goofy ass videos online. I think of like him playing guitar.
Oh, true.
Just real goofy, and then he just started releasing banger after banger.
Yeah.
And now his music's like awesome.
Yeah.
My old man loves Post Malone.
Yeah, he's a character. Yeah, I know he's got that. Face tattoos are an interesting look, right? Like, pretty bold, and I don't think like his personality and the way he carries himself suits what he looks like at all.
I
Do you know what I mean?
Don't judge a book by its cover, right?
Yeah, like that is like to the T. He is that.
He seems like a real pure soul, right? Seems like a real kind person.
Yeah.
So would you associate face tattoos with unkind people?
Well, that leads on to that naturally, wouldn't it? Well, I would say it shows me that you've had like a hard upbringing, I guess, to put ink on your face, maybe, or you've had some tough stuff to have symbols that mean enough to you to put it on your face, you know, like.
And it's almost like you're rebelling against society.
Yeah,
because society, I would say, doesn't accept face tattoos.
Yeah, I mean, when people say make sure tattoos are like, you know, up above your wrist and below your neck. Yeah, so yeah, That is interesting. I mean, has he got like some teardrops as well that indicate like killing people
Yeah.
and like in gang scenes, which is
Well, it does seem to be the prison vibe, right? His
Yeah.
face tattoos.
yeah,
It's an interesting discussion, eh? I think what you said, it probably does just show that they've maybe had a bit of a tough upbringing or tougher life.
yeah, which nearly can lead to a more understanding adult in a sense, you know.
It's either that or you've become so successful and made it that you don't need to follow society's rules anymore.
Yeah.
And that seems like more Post Malone's
Yeah,
sense. It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's so big and famous now that he can do whatever he wants. He doesn't have to go into a job interview and shake someone's hand and they look at your face tattoo and be like, oh, okay, I'm probably not going to hire that guy.
And prove himself. He doesn't have to prove himself. Yeah, that's a good point.
Part of his image.
But I'm just thinking back to like some boys at the gym, you know, and like you'll see them out on the floor. They'll be absolutely ripped with tattoos everywhere. But then you'll see them in a sauna, and they'll say hey to you first, you know. So there you go, like straight away.
The sauna vibe at the gym is so funny, eh? Like on the floor, you don't really say hi to anyone.
No.
And then you get in the sauna and everyone's just yarning.
Even if you know the guy because you had a chat with him in the sauna last week, I'm still not saying hi to you on the gym floor.
Well, I actually
I'll save it for that.
I had it on Friday. It was just like Seth, old footy boy, was on the floor. So I didn't say hi to him. We sort of saw each other. And It's like as soon as you go in the sauna, he's like, "Oh, hey, Brad." It's like, "Hey, Brad."
Yeah, I saw you out there doing this and that.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, we can chat now. Like, when you're on the floor, it's time to work.
Yeah.
That is funny. I really enjoy the sauna chats.
Yeah.
It's good having you as a Les Mills brother as well. It's, I lost E-Money and Dill, who were my gym boys, but now you've become the replacement.
Yeah. No,
It's been good.
I'm proud to be. No, it's good. Actually, our workshop's moving 3 doors down from Les Mills now, so no excuses to be late on our Monday sessions.
You gotta start bringing your gear to work.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I'm notorious for going home after work to then go straight back to the direction of work. So yeah. So no, that'll be a good little change for my working scene being Central Hut. But you know, our Monday gym sessions are awesome. That's a massive look forward to for me. Is our Monday sessions. It's nice to have a non-negotiable. You know what I mean? In your week.
Yeah, like Mondays, 5 p.m. We're at the gym.
We don't even have to really message each other about it.
Nah, it's good because it's more we have to message each other now if we're not going to be there.
Yeah.
Not, are you going to the gym tonight? So, yeah, we're definitely going to be there. But it's like you message me if you're away or whatever.
Yeah. No news is good news.
Yeah. But I've actually been, let me tell you this, I've actually been proud of you, of how you've managed your forbidden pre. Sorry to bring it up, but
No,
like the way you overcame it by staying on the path has been cool to see. Just like, you know, you could have been at home listening to the sad songs, drinking alcohol or smoking weed or whatever, but instead you literally got shredded and you're going to the gym all the time.
Yeah.
And just trying to do positive things for yourself. So it was really cool to see.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And the friend group we've got definitely helps. Made that easy, you know?
Yeah.
Made that decision easy. It was it felt like no other choice at the time. And Paddy has been such a brilliant sounding board with that forbidden pre. Like we've talked about that a lot. And just what you've set up with yourself in the hunting scenario, like going out on a hunt with you, like doing that and doing the training with you and sinking my teeth into managing the football team. My work is skyrocketed in the busy sense. So it seems like my life has actually it gave me no choice to just sink my teeth into what I was actually doing, which was instead of then hanging out with this girl, is now I'm going to the gym and I'm working and I'm training. Like that's what it just sort of turned into naturally. I don't remember making a decision about that. And I just put that down to having an awesome support group around me. Yeah.
And it's funny because you can look at it as, you know, everything has a meaning or purpose, but clearly, you know, maybe it was all meant to be. Like you have definitely, I think, excelled in life since that event happened.
Yeah.
So it's good to see, and you know, you're growing as a man. You're increasing your worth
Yeah, I think I am. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I appreciate it coming out from you as well, because you are definitely a large inspiration for me, and the way that you operate your life. So yeah, that means a lot, mate. Thank you.
All good.
Yeah.
All good. Let's have a piss break, eh?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alrighty, and we're back. So I actually was having a thought we could do this live on air if you're comfy.
Yep.
But what's your favourite guitar song at the moment?
Guitar song at the moment,
Or I guess of all time.
all time, Sultans of Swing.
Do you want to play it for us?
Can't play that one. That's like my favorite one to listen to.
Right.
One to play would be Seether. Yeah.
Okay.
Breathe.
I'll give you the guitar, eh?
Yeah, I'll play
Have a
that
jam.
one. Cool. Nice.
I mean, you can do light singing if you want, but it's mainly going to pick up the guitar.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Just play a bit of a riff.
Take it away, mate. That's so good, bro. That's beautiful.
There you go. Bit of Evanescence. Cheers. But that was a the guy roll. Oh, nice. But that was actually that was my go-to guitar song when I was purchasing my last guitar. So
True.
that was like my tester song.
In the store.
Yeah.
Is it true that there's forbidden songs in the music shops? Like I see online, you're not meant to play like the classic Stairway to Heaven or whatever.
Yeah, it was Smoke on the Water.
Yeah.
Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, probably not. I don't know. To be honest, I used to work opposite a music shop, and I used to just go in there on my lunch breaks and just play the $2,000 guitars, just for fun.
You can feel the difference?
Oh yeah, big time, massively so. Yeah, they're easier to play. They make you play better. It's actually amazing. But no, I haven't done that in a while. That's inspiring, bro, that you can just pull that off like that. That was beautiful. I was just smiling the whole time. Cheers. Yeah.
Could you tell that was a cheaper guitar?
I mean, I think you get to a level of maybe once you spend more than $800 on a guitar, it becomes noticeable,
Right.
like really noticeable. Yeah, I probably don't have enough experience with different guitars to say that was nice to play.
Yeah, that sounded good.
Cheers.
But I think there's more you. All right. Different topic is your travels. I'm keen to hear about a bit of your past travels.
Yeah.
And then I know you've got some future plans as well.
Yes.
So what was tell me where you've been.
Well, start from the start. In 2008, me and my parents and my family went to America and did a caravan trip down the never eat soggy Weet-Bix east coast of America. I started in New York, went up to Niagara Falls, went down to Florida, and that was pretty cool. That was 4 weeks with the family there.
Was that in summer or winter?
That was in the summer, so it was piping hot. That was pretty cool. Saw wild horses on the drive down. Got stuck in a tornado warning.
Oh, wow.
yeah, that was hectic. Got the RV camper van lost a couple of times. But yeah, that was good. A bit young for me to remember, to be honest, all the details. Then we go forward another couple of years, and again, privileged enough to go with my family to Palm Springs, Las Vegas, and California. Did a bit of a trip there for a couple of weeks. And then, yeah, more recently as an adult, me and my father went to Chiang Mai for my cousin's wedding. And that was pretty cool. That was just before COVID hit. That was in 2019, the summer of. So we had New Year's over in Chiang Mai, in Thailand. And then we came back and COVID hit. And that was literally, the world shut down like 2 weeks after we got back. So that was pretty unreal timing.
And it sounds like that was a bit of a wild trip.
Yeah.
Stories you've told.
Yeah. That was crazy. About 30 of my family were over there for the wedding. So yeah, we had a cool time. Like we took over this little this village for a couple of days.
And was it super remote, the village that you went to?
Yeah, it was super remote. Absolutely nothing within 100 odd kilometers in the hills north of Chiang Mai. And yeah, we had a buffalo killed for us the day before, and we had raw buffalo mince. We had cooked buffalo. Obviously,
and I'm guessing that was a big deal within the village.
That was something.
Buffalo.
Yeah, that was something you do for guests and special events. Yeah, so that was pretty special. You could hear it being slaughtered up the hill. It was pretty hectic, but yeah, that's.
Why did they just go slit its throat or something?
That's the way of life. Yeah, I think some people went to be a part of it, but I was just with the rest of the family down, just having some. Actually, off the side of the hill there was this ridiculous mountain range. Look at that Rimatukas. It looks like you were inside the Rimatukas. It was just bowling hills, bounding hills, full of forests, and there was just clear patch, and they were doing these wedding photos there in these in the beautiful kit. So that's where we were.
Backdrop.
Yeah, with the beautiful backdrop. That's where we were when we heard the kill happen up the hill. That was pretty hectic.
And how's the buffalo mince, the raw mince?
Yeah, I cannot tell you anything, but it was exactly what you would think. Mince from the shop, just raw mince would taste like.
True.
It was exactly what I thought that was going to be, and it was. Yeah, it was pretty weird. It had a mint leaves on it, so it was a bit minty, freshy sort of, but it was chewy, slimy.
Right.
Exactly what you would think. Just cow mince would taste like beef mince. Yeah.
Interesting.
It was very, very strange. But yeah, so I had the wedding there, and then went to Siem Reap, Cambodia, and Wat. That was pretty cool with Dad. And yeah, that was a trip in itself. And then probably 2 years ago, me and my ex-partner went to Europe for 3 months, and that was pretty cool. That was a time to definitely remember for it was a really learning period for me. I wanted to go and see what it was all about, I guess, for me to then to potentially move over there and carry out my next goal, which is what we'll talk about in a bit. But my partner at the time, we were together for 3 months, and she wasn't a fan of her job. We were let's just hit this trip, let's just do it. So in 3 months we were together, we saved for 3 months, and then we traveled for 3 months. And so that was a high octane relationship for sure.
That would be a lot, right? For, I guess, because you didn't live together, and then all of a sudden you're technically living together when you're traveling overseas, right?
Yeah, for 3 months straight. And I would say 2 months felt like a long time away from home, I must say. So the third month was tough, but yeah, such an amazing place Europe is, and fell in love with traveling. Gave me a bit of confidence to now do it on my own, which was it was nice to have that person with me, to just have that support person, that familiarity, that Kiwi accent, that was one thing that was quite frustrating in Asia after a couple of weeks, was you actually just wanted to have a conversation with someone without pulling your phone out and using Translate, or you actually just wanted to just go blah 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 blah,
Yeah, and then understand you.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of energy to speak slowly, use your hand gestures, and try and connect with people that don't speak English, you know. And so it was nice to have that person with me in that initial trip. I'd never been to Europe before. Big eye opener in the sense of how many people there are in the world. And shit just keeps going and going when you're not there, you know? Like, it's humming. The world is humming constantly.
Nothing stops, eh?
Nothing stops. So, yeah, that was a cool little wake-up call to the world, what's out there. And, came back. That relationship ended and, went on a bit of a journey on myself. And, now I'm just teeing up a bit of a venture to move to the UK and live there for a few years and coach cricket and fully indulge myself in that environment, which has been my dream since I was a young teenager.
Yeah, it'd be awesome to do.
Yeah,
because you need to do it for yourself, so you know, you might move over there for 6 months and be like, okay, I've given it a go. I don't like it. I want to come home. Or you might say, this is what I want to do, and I want to stay here for years to come.
Yeah.
But you'll never know until you do that.
Yeah, and I'm privileged enough to have access to the ancestry visa with my granddad being born in the UK, and so I have the option to do pretty much whatever I want when I get that.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
So you don't need a working visa. You just can go whenever you want.
No, it's an ancestry visa.
What does that mean?
It means that you have a grandparent born in the UK, and so I can apply for an extra 2 or 3 years. So I get a 5-year visa instead of a 2 or 3 year. I think it's a bit cheaper. I'm not sure though. And it also allows me to stay on and be a permanent resident after that.
Okay. Does it allow you to go over for 2 years, come back, and then go do it again? Or is it like a one-off?
So once I get the 5-year visa approved, then I can go to and from unlimited amount of times and work in New Zealand or England.
Within the 5 years? Within
the 5 years. Yeah, right. I think to get the residency, I know very minimal on this, by the way. So absolutely do not come into me for research on this. But I think once you apply for a visa, you can't just go, okay, now I'm going to get this one after that. Once I go the ancestry, I can't go the youth mobility.
Yeah, right.
And vice versa. So it's like you pick one and that's what you've got.
But I think for the standard person, say if I wanted to go, I can just get a 2-year working visa, right?
Yeah, that's the youth mobility one. And that's like you don't have the option to stay on after.
Ah, interesting. And do I have to be a certain age?
You have to be under 32.
Ah, true. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So you can't do it when you're past 32.
They don't want anyone going through a midlife crisis being like, I want to move to the UK and do this.
Pretty much, yeah. Great. Unless you meet a girl from there or something. I guess that's sort of the catch is relationships. Yeah.
Or can companies host you like they can in New Zealand?
Specialty workers, yeah. That's another way to do it. There's actually heaps of different visas. I just went through the ones that were relevant to me, right? And so...
Well, the ancestry ones would be the best ones. If you can obviously get one through your relatives, that's the way to do it.
Yeah. And it's frustrating. My sister was born in London when my parents were on their OE. She was born in the UK, and so she has both passports, New Zealand, and so she's in a perfect position, But because for me, my parents are both born in New Zealand, it's my grandparents, so I don't have direct access to a passport. Most other countries in the world, I would have access to their passport because my grandparents are born there, but not England. Yeah, it's a bit more rigid.
Yeah. So, don't you find that interesting, fascinating, that all you need is to be born into a country and then you're now a resident or citizen of that country? Yeah, you get full rights. I don't know if it makes sense, It's like your parents are from... Well, it's different in that sense because I guess was your granddad actually from the UK? He was born in England. Born and bred there, yeah. But say your parents were in Spain on an OE. Yeah. And then they give birth to you. Yeah. And now you can have like a Spanish citizenship and New Zealand. It doesn't really make sense. It's like you're not a Spanish... It is funny, isn't it? I don't know if maybe because they were working. Maybe if you're on holiday, maybe it doesn't work like that. Do you know some countries it doesn't work like that? Like what? I'm pretty sure like in China and I think in some like UAE, stuff like that. It's like you have to actually have ancestral roots to get citizenship or a passport there. Oh, okay. You can't just be born there. Like, you couldn't be born in China and then you call yourself Chinese.
Yeah. I do wonder if that was maybe something to do with my sister's scenario then, because she had blood already there, you know, and granddad being born in the UK. Maybe she had the right to then have the UK passport after being born there as well. But she was born there within 3 months. She was deported.
True.
She's an infant. She was deported. They had to buy her a single ticket to Fiji. Oh, this is out of New Zealand. Sorry. My sister got deported from New Zealand because she wasn't a New Zealand citizen as an infant and was deported to Fiji, and they had to send her to Fiji or something and back.
No way.
For her not to be like, I don't know,
Illegal.
arrested. You're going to arrest an infant? Like, I don't know.
3 months old, you go to jail.
Yeah, there's some wild yarn about my sister having to be sent offshore. Like, on papers. I don't think they actually went, but they had to buy her an out ticket.
I'll have to yarn to Matty Bliss about it.
Yeah, that's actually, I wish I had more details. That does sound wild.
Well, I guess, if you bring them back to New Zealand, they're probably allowed to come here for 3 months on holiday.
Yeah, it was something like that.
And then after that, it's like, you got to fill out the right paperwork.
Yeah. I'm not sure about all the details, but I know there was some drama, and like my sister had a one-way ticket on her own.
But if your parents were citizens of New Zealand, were they?
Yeah,
or did they have UK passports?
No, both my parents were born in New Zealand.
Right, well then surely the child
would get it as well.
But you'd still have to fill out the paperwork, I guess.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't have been in the system at all if she was born in the UK. She's in the UK like database of being born stuff.
Made up person. Just showing up.
Literally.
Yeah. We'll get those details from Maddie B one day. That'll be good.
What was your favourite place while travelling over in Europe?
Europe was, amazing. I loved Amsterdam for the grandness of it. Everything was so just, grand. Rotterdam was so family friendly. Like, I would raise a family in Rotterdam and Amsterdam and Netherlands.
That stuck with me because I remember you telling me that ages ago. Going to Rotterdam, and that's where you could see yourself raising a family. Yeah,
and it just goes down to just the, like, I don't know. I just was walking down one day, went down this main street, and there was this absolutely, what do you call them? A peloton. Is that what you call groups of bikes? Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah, the lead peloton. It was the post-school peloton of mothers, and they had heaps of, 4 trailers. Imagine a bike, and then 4 little tiny pods, all hooked up with, like, a tow bar and little wheels. 5 of them stacked up back with, like, 2 kids in each.
True.
And it was just, like, 10 of them. So it was like a school transporting all the kids from one place to another, like an after-school daycare or something. And I was just like, wow, that looks unreal. Like, what an environment for the kids. There was a couple of parks as well that were just playing football and humming right in the city centre. Everything seemed so safe. Yeah, it's just the pace of life was a bit slower because everyone's on bikes, right? No one's on cars. Yeah, I just spent a couple of days there, and just afterwards was like, man, I could definitely see myself having a family here.
That's awesome.
Which was a weird feeling after a couple of days.
Did it feel similar at all to New Zealand?
In the pace of life, yeah, definitely. Compared to London and compared to those other cities in the UK, Birmingham was wild, like Manchester just crazy. Yeah, that was a nice pace change for sure. Even from Amsterdam, like that's a crazy pace. So many more people. Rotterdam is just... It was definitely more Wellington-ish, And
I want to go there, bro. I want to go there one day.
Yeah, the pace. Yeah. And then, another standout for me was Vienna in Austria. That was so picturesque. Every way you look was something to just gawk at. It was,
Because of their beautiful lakes and stuff in Vienna.
Vienna, the one thing I remember from there, we spent 3 days there. And it's a German-speaking place, being Austrian. And it's... They have this like river, and then they've got this ring road, which is like a massive, like it looks like a semicircle, right? That links up to the river, and it takes what took us 2 days to walk around. So like we did half one day, went home, and then came back the next day, started where we finished. It was around Christmas time, and it was a bit like maybe it was a bit snowy, and there was all around the ring road. There was these like festivals and like Christmas markets and like just a pop up skate rink. Like these like wooden shacks that they're just throwing together, like German themed, like wooden shacks, like Christmas, that were like selling like mulled wine and things like that. And it was just such a community based little town, and it felt like, obviously at Christmas time everyone was jolly and festive, but yeah, just the amount of time it took us to walk the like 4 kilometers or whatever. It shouldn't take you that long, but we were just literally dawdling.
Just taking in all
Just
these.
taking it in, yeah. Live music here.
Too, around Christmas time?
Yeah, I think it was. There was like snow in there overnight, and so there was snow build up. So it was a clear day. So it was quite a beautiful day to be walking around the city. Yeah.
Did you go to Hitler's old house? Isn't that in Vienna?
That would make sense. He's Austrian. No, I didn't.
I don't know if it was. I'm pretty sure he did have like somewhere in Austria.
Yeah.
That potentially got knocked down as well. But I think it's still there. It's like at the top of a mountain in a beautiful spot.
Yeah. No, I didn't know about that. But no, yeah, and then another standout for me was Prague. Yeah, I loved Prague, Czech Republic.
Expensive city, I hear.
Maybe I didn't hit the expensive parts.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember I was getting beers very cheap there.
True.
Beers are extremely cheap.
Like how cheap?
We're talking like $2.50
from a pub.
Yeah. We're talking extremely cheap.
Did
Maybe I went to the right spots. I don't know.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Did you ever go to a bottle store?
Very rarely. And if you did, it was just a supermarket. Yeah.
Well, I wonder if their culture then is you just go to the pub for a beer.
I think, yeah. Well, that was our vibe anyway as travellers. That was sort of our go-to, was we don't want to get a drink, go back to our place. We want to go to the pub and talk to the locals, and figure out the crack. And like that was sort of our go-to. We went to 21 cities in 3 months over the Europe, and that was sort of our go-to. As the first night we went to the local pub just around the corner from where we were staying, and pretty much just mingle with the locals and figure out what to do for the rest of the time you're there. So using the locals' knowledge instead of going on TripAdvisor and going the first top 3 things, which is always the same. Go to this old castle. Yeah, and go to this church.
It's going to be very touristy options, whereas the locals might have some little gems.
Yeah. This place is real cheap. Best bakery in town. It's way over there, but it's so worth it. Yeah. And then you go there and you'll find 3 or 4 cool things on the way, like a cheap op shop that's got vintage clothes. That you'd never come across. If you went. Yeah.
So that's awesome. I was more thinking around the drinks, like going to the bottle stores more. New Zealand is so cheap to get alcohol from a bottle store and so expensive to get it in a pub.
Yeah.
But it seems like such a better way having it $2.50 in a pub. So it's just a lot more social, right? You just go down and have a drink with a mate and go home or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, instead of having a whole box to yourself.
Well, that's like created our poor drinking culture, right?
Yeah.
Our binge drinking culture. It's like $20 for a box or $20 for 2 beers at a bar. So it's like, obviously I'm going to buy a box and drink it at home and then go into the bars. And that's what everyone does.
The only plus side to that, and I say this because it's a Sunday and it was a Saturday yesterday and I played football with the boys, and nothing like finishing a game of footy and the boys have a box of beers after the game. You can't do that if they're $80, $90, so that's pretty cool to be able to, after a footy game, just bring out a box of beers. And
even on Monday, I played for you guys.
Yeah.
Made my yearly debut.
That's right.
The boys had a box in the changing room at 10 p.m. at night on a Monday.
8 p.m. kickoff on a Monday. That
was brutal, eh?
Crazy.
Man, I thoroughly enjoyed that game. It was awesome.
It was good to have you back in blue, mate.
It always feels good putting on the Petone t-shirt.
But you had like the Petone unders, Petone jersey, Petone jacket, Petone pants.
Well, it's all sitting in my window. Like the one time I get to wear it, let's go. Chuck it all on.
No, good. 2 games left in the season, mate. So
I'll be keen to tee up one more.
Yeah.
Any more turf games?
We were supposed to have a 8 p.m. game on this Friday, which I'm trying to get changed to 12:30 on Saturday. So probably no more turf games. Yeah, unconfirmed. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll talk to you after this, but we'll try and tee up a date.
Yeah.
I'm going hunting next weekend with my brother.
Of course.
And hopefully Louis.
Yeah.
So that weekend's going to be out.
All right, sweet.
My brother and dad, I think, watched the game. And Josh is keen as he's like keen as to play after watching that.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, get the boys back together. That's what I mean. I've managed this football team for the last 3-4 years with Brad Gibbons, and yeah, it's literally just been about the last 2 years specifically is about getting the people who we want to play football with, and it's a bit selfish, like we are a club team and we do take a handful of players from the club set up, and that is our, we're doing our job there as a club team, but mainly it's for us to play with our friends and to enjoy each other's company, and doing that, representing Petone with a bit of pride. So it's been really cool in the last couple of years to nearly curate a team of like my mates, just about.
Yeah.
And it's been such a cool time. Yeah, our ringers, the likes of that yourself, and having Hami come back and getting him to actually enjoy football. And one of the best Central League footballers in Wellington, to then have him not enjoying football because of it being just too much volume, I believe.
Politics and stuff, eh?
Yeah, for him to then leave because he's not enjoying it, to then come back, to then play with his mates, you know what I mean? That's literally what football's about.
Yeah.
And now he's loving
awesome.
it again. Like, that's literally what football's about, is just having a good time with your mates. And yeah, it makes me so happy that I can create that environment for all my mates to come together. Yeah.
Well, it's exactly how I felt, because when I was playing footy 10 years ago, playing like fairly high level, but I did just get sick of it too. Which is like, it was just so many politics, and then everyone's a bit of a dick, and everyone's real hard on you, which I'm all for being hard on you and stuff, but I don't know, you just get over it. And then I obviously haven't played footy in a long time, and then coming back, it's good to get that feeling again of like, wow, that was so much fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I literally played that game on Monday, and I've been having thoughts all week on like, next year, do I play footy? Like, I've literally been thinking that. I'm like, do I, give up jiu-jitsu and striking for a year and play footy again?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll have to keep battling those thoughts.
Yeah, something to think about. I mean, with the family you're about to have, I mean, is football going to take less time than jiu-jitsu in a week? I would nearly say yes. I don't know.
But the thing is, I wouldn't be able to give it up. I wouldn't be able to give up jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai completely. So I'd still be trying to balance it. Just another thing I have to add into the schedule.
Yeah, yeah. Get your third hand out.
But another thing with footy is I couldn't believe how sore my legs were this week.
Yeah, true. You got the short straw in playing on a turf game for your first game of the year, which then noticed, like, all the boys yesterday were, before the game, going, that turf was tough.
Oh, true.
Everyone was feeling it on the legs.
Interesting.
It's just that extra jarring you're playing football on concrete with a little bit of pad on it,
But the thing is, I don't know, I grew up all my, like, proper playing career playing on turf.
Yeah.
So I'm used to it. I like the turf.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it is still harsh on the body.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, I train legs at least once a week at the gym, and I'm training all the time. And I felt actually fairly fit. Like, I came on after 20 minutes, I played 70, just non-stop, and I was all good at the end. I was still running around. But then, like, the DOMs, man, 2 days later, I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah, I guess, just a different type of activity your body ain't used to, eh? Yeah.
Exactly. And just the way you're fully engaging, like, your quads and your hammies. You know, when you rip a football as hard as you can at the goal, it's like you're locking up every single muscle and just engaging it and using it for full force.
Yeah, yeah. It's extremely fascinating how the body can go from, like, your first couple of sprints. I'll even say your first sprint's it's probably one of your slower sprints, your first sprint of the day. But it's like your fourth, fifth, sixth sprint, you feel like money. Like, man, I'm absolutely humming today.
Yeah.
Man, when it comes to that 10th sprint, that 12th sprint, you're not hitting the same strides. What's going on? The muscles are literally falling apart. Like, yeah.
Well, we talked about it, didn't we? On Monday night. It's like you literally just have all your glucose or whatever, and then the lactic acid build up, and body is depleted of energy.
Yeah.
So it's like you need to sleep it off, recover, and come back a week later.
Yeah.
In my case, anyway.
The fibers have torn in the muscle.
They need recovering.
Yeah.
But it's just funny you don't feel that in the moment. Like, I was running for 70 minutes. I probably I mean, I was definitely getting a little tired at the end, but I could have ran for a lot longer. But then 2 days later, I was ridden off.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't run at all. My legs were in recovery mode.
Yeah.
But when you're in the moment, it's like, I guess your legs are warm or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, mate, welcome back to the football scene.
Yeah, love it. Hopefully I get one more in before the end of the season.
Yeah, we'll see. Get the Ebbett brothers back on.
It'd be awesome to play with Harmy too in the middle.
Yeah. It was actually in the week yesterday's game. We had an ex-Fiji international play for us actually. So on Friday at midday, I actually messaged you and said we need you. Like, I had like 9 people for a game for the day after. So I'm like scrambling, thinking I always have 18 people every game, like 7 subs, max it out. But yeah, couldn't even field a team, so I was putting out all the helpers.
You messaged me and Maddie, eh?
Yep, Matty came down. He had a decent game actually.
Oh, nice.
He got good minutes. It was good. Yeah.
I have to chat to him about it.
Yeah. But we had Max, who brought in his schoolmate, and his name was Faz, short for a longer name. But he used to play for Fiji international team. Yeah,
Wow.
back in the day, and he was also in the same federation setup as Hami for like 4 years.
True.
And so that's why Faz came down to play, was because he heard that Hami was playing and was like,
Familiar face.
yeah, familiar face, 100% go play. Bro, this guy was so good on the
True.
wing. I said to him, where do you play? He said, anywhere. I was like, he's a pretty tall, slender guy. I was like, he looks fast. I'll put you on the wing. First time he gets the ball, he just like nuts a guy, beats him around the outside, cuts it back. Perfect cross. Fuck, mate.
Let's go.
Yeah, where have you been all season, cuz?
Hopefully you get him for the rest of the season then.
Well, we actually had a drama-filled second half. Tommy J went down with a back injury, and it actually looked pretty scary. Gibbo went up. The two centre-backs go up for a challenge, and I think Gibbo just backed into him, and it was a real awkward impact. Tommy J went straight off and couldn't even stand up for half an hour after it happened. He was in a lot of pain, I think maybe a pinched nerve or something, but yeah.
That is scary.
Still waiting on how he is today.
I'd say it sounds like he will need a bit of recovery.
Yeah, that's because he's a big dog centre back.
Bro, he's so solid. He is a solid footballer.
Yeah,
playing on Monday.
And so he was asking if he could have a bit of a chance in an attacking role yesterday, because Gibbo is going to Europe for a couple of weeks and is missing the end of the season. So there is no chance of him going out of centre-back in the last 2 games. So he asked to go forward. I pushed him forward. Literally 2 minutes later, him and Gibbo collide. He goes off with this injury. Gibbo's out for the rest of the season as well. So now I've got my 2 centre-backs literally just disappeared.
Damn.
So now I'm like, what do I do? So
Manager Blissy.
yeah, got to put my Mourinho hat on.
Well, I
Figure
could
something out.
potentially come in one game
Yeah.
and play centre back. Even though I'd prefer to play mid, but I could do centre back for you.
Yeah, Hami dropped him straight away into centre back, and that was awesome.
Oh, he would have been solid.
I told him after 10 minutes, I was like, all right, you go forward, like someone else coming to centre back just to rotate it. And he looked at me like, eh? Like, because he was saying he's lost a bit of fitness, and he's like, bro, you do not much running at the back. And he was like, I was enjoying it. And then you told me to move up.
Yeah, I can see that's definitely the most casual position. Like, you've got to be solid, big challenges and stuff, but the least amount of running.
Yeah, if you know where to be, you could be the slowest person on the field and be the best defender. If
like
you can
murder sucker.
If you can just be in the right place, yeah. Literally. We talked about him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was like 29 pace on the people or something. Ridiculous.
Just wins every challenge. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, next year, obviously, you're not going to be playing footy if you're over in London.
Yeah. So roughly the plan is do the cricket season here. Cricket's my number one sport, always has been, and I don't see it not being my number one sport. Just out of enjoyment factor, the endorphins I get out of it when I leave a training. I'm so excited for every training. I love watching it. I follow it. Yeah, so it's definitely my number one sport. And I've always wanted to go and play over in England, which is just about the home of cricket, So I've always wanted to do that. It's been a dream of mine, and it's just been, I've put it off. I find excuses in the last number of years, and yeah, the perfect storms come and I feel like this is the perfect time to press go. So I've just finished my level 2 coaching course. I've got to clock up 75 hours in this summer, and then do an observation session so they can actually see if I'm doing things properly.
75 hours of training sessions.
Yep.
That's a lot, right? Will you get through that?
It's roughly 3 hours for 20 weeks, roughly. Yeah. So it sort of works out. Is that maths count? That's 60, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So just over. So yeah.
But it's almost like half a year, right? Like 20 weeks.
Yeah, just about. So pretty much from now until the end of the season, I want to clock up as many hours as I can, which will be super easy to go around to all the schools, like St. Bernard's, our old college. I'll go there for a number of trainings and just coach their first team.
Right.
Just because they don't have it, they'll have a parent set up, so they would love like a coach to come down and do that.
To Bernard's.
Yeah, and like Tata College, and there's a whole number of schools linked in with the cricket club that I'm based in at Tata Cricket. And then you've got a third team that I can help out where I can in some areas. Even the team that I play for, there's areas where I can help out.
Yeah, you could clock those hours, right, as coaching.
Yeah, obviously I don't want to take the piss of the system, but if I can take a group of players and work on something for an hour of the 2-hour session, well, that's...
Set up a game,
get them thinking about things. Definitely. And then, so once that's done, I'll have a season of cricket here, and then through my contacts, through Wellington Cricket and Tata Cricket, I'll find a cricket club that'll, I guess, take me over in the UK. And
that's what I was going to ask. Like, do you have anything set up? Obviously not yet.
Yeah, it's a bit far away right now. They've just finished their cricket season, or finishing their cricket season over there. So it's sort of in the right timing now, to be fair, of heading up those clubs and saying, right, next season, I'm keen to come over and I'm available. I'm a qualified coach, XYZ, this is what I do. And there's agencies out there that set you up with clubs that they want people like you, and bada bang, I pick up a job
and you're quite extroverted too, so I'd say you'd have no worries finding a job.
Yeah, well,
you'd be the type of person you could just move over there and just hope for the best, and it would probably work out.
Yeah, I'd like to think so. I've got so many university friends that have gone over there in the last even couple of months, and so I've got no worries and not feeling comfortable over there for that weird reason. But even so, on top of that, knowing that I've got familiar faces over there to go have like a lunch with or dinner, or if anything happens, you always get that people to bounce on that are familiar. I've always wanted to do this on my own accord, you know what I mean? It's not because there's people there that I'm going there, I'm not going to be going to live in the same county as my mate, I'll go where there's a job. I'll go where I'm recommended to go, or there's a recommendation, or, there'll be discussions about that in the coming months. But I want to go for myself, and it's just nice to have those people there at arm's reach away. Yeah. No,
it's awesome. And being, London's quite central. You could have a weekend and go to France or something, or
that's the crack, right? Yeah.
Go back to Rotterdam.
Yeah, that's quite literally the reason why. That's mainly the reason why, is to live the European lifestyle, I guess. Yeah, to give that a proper crack, and then I don't see myself settling over there.
Right, you think you will come back?
Yeah, I do see myself having a family in New Zealand.
Well, it's interesting because you said it was quite hectic being in like Amsterdam and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you not think you'll feel that in London, living there?
London's wild. I don't think I'll ever live in London. Yeah.
Right. Oh, so you're not going to London?
Yeah, well, cricket clubs are more or so like, the way I see it working is I'd be in like a region like Sussex at a little club, little village in there, and it would be like an hour and a half train ride into North London.
Okay. So it's more like suburbia type.
Yeah, very much so. Very much like a Wainui, and that's like there was a place that we went to. It was an hour south of Manchester, and it was called Curry Rival, and it was literally a place that reminded me like Wainui. It was just a little suburb, just like had 2 supermarkets, had a main street with like a pharmacy, a couple bakeries, a bookshop, furniture shop, you know, cafe here, coffee cart here, a centre, a church. And that was it. And then just a bunch of houses and people just living their life. And that was it. A couple of sports club, a football, real professional setup of a football academy. They were in National League. Yeah, they were National League footballers. And yeah, it was just an hour out of Manchester, and it was just exactly the kind of spot where I see myself, you know?
And surely that would be a way more affordable housing to pay for rent or whatever if you got a job and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And in the big city of London.
Yeah. Quite often they actually do, we've done it too for tighter, is like cricketers will come over on a pro contract and play and coach for your club, and you'll get someone in your club to host them for the summer. And so we've done that for a couple of players at Taita. Had a guy live with us for the summer and work and play cricket. And so maybe that's an opportunity to do that too over there. Is that's part of the contract of working there, is you could get a place to stay, and you know.
It's a bit like, do you know the guy that's playing for Petone at the moment?
Yeah, Stefan.
Yeah.
He's staying with the Petone.
Staying with Gav.
There you go. Yeah.
But that's a classic, right? It's come over from Sweden. There's like people offering to help.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'd
be awesome. Are you going to play footy then when you're over there too?
Oh, it won't be a priority. I've actually been thinking about doing a bit of a summer, like chasing the summers, maybe for a couple of seasons in a row.
Like traveling in the summer. What do you mean?
Like come back to New Zealand.
Oh, okay.
After the summer, and then do a summer here, and then go back to the UK, do the summer there. So then chase the summers, you know, and just go cricket, which has been my dream.
That'd be mint.
Yeah, it's been my dream to completely submerge myself of a year of cricket, you know. Obviously, we'll see how that goes. I may,
Well, especially if you're staying at like a, what do you call it, like a homestead or whatever, when people are hosting you, because you'd be able to do that.
Yeah,
if you had to rent your own place, it'd be a bit harder, right? And if you had a job and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But that's the idea, is the setup is that is your job. You know what I mean?
Right, you're cricketing, coaching as your job.
Yeah, like I'd coordinate the junior club at the same time as playing for their team and maybe coaching a couple of the boys, you know, like,
How much do you think you'd get paid for doing that?
That's a good question. I actually haven't even considered. I would just think enough to survive. I wouldn't think it's a successful, like, I'm not going to come out of this making money, you know, like, and have a big savings out of it, you know. It's definitely an experience.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, as long as you can survive, right? But it would be good to have a bit of extra so you can go travelling on the weekends, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I've also always seen myself just pouring beers at a pub. Like, you know, at a quiet English pub.
Oh, that'd be a perfect job for you.
Yeah, I think it would just be so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you could do that. Cricket coaching during the day, work a few pub shifts at the night.
Yeah.
And then a few music gigs.
Yeah. That's also on
live performances.
Also on the cards. I've been saying it to myself for the longest time. I'm keen to perform more and like create a bit of a, I don't know. It seems like you've got to have a bit of a web page where you've got some performances where you can go, like, this is me, like, this is what I can offer, because just messaging a pub on your Facebook profile with no videos, like, why would they look at you? You know?
100%.
So, maybe, I've wondered how to go about doing that. I've never gone out and gotten gigs before. I've only ever either performed at school setups or mum's band. Like, before or after their sets, I'll play.
Well, why don't you
pubs,
why don't you get your YouTube channel running again, or create like an Instagram channel and just have it literally dedicated to just, you know, Connor Bliss music or whatever it is.
Yeah, that would be the next step to push that. Yeah, I guess it's another one of those things to juggle.
Well, for
I guess.
now, you could clip them, the Bev It podcast episode 4,
yeah,
and do your little song. This is what I'm about.
Yeah, clip 1.
Yeah,
the maiden clip.
Hopefully the audio sounds good on it. No, I reckon you should do that, because you have a little YouTube channel with some of your stuff from like 10 years ago or something, eh?
And if I really did have a bit of pride, I should take those videos down. Shockers.
I used to listen to them back in the day. I used to love it, bro.
Yeah.
But I always remember you used to be like, nah, that's not good. Bad recording, stuff like that.
It's amazing why I still haven't done anything about it. Yeah.
No, well, it's
I guess I don't care enough to like take them down. I put them up because back in the day I was proud of them. Obviously, I was happy with them. Now I can't even listen to them because I know I could. Yeah.
I reckon you should leave them up, bro.
Yeah,
Because you could start creating your channel again. You could use the same channel, and then that's something to look back on.
and I was thinking about redoing a song that's on there.
Do it.
And so then it's like, oh, that was me 10 years ago, and this is me now doing it, you know?
Bro, if you want to, I can help you because I can set up 2 mics. We can try and suss it, but you can get one to your voice and the guitar.
Yeah, with all your setup kit here.
I don't know how, I've never done it with music. I don't know how it will sound, but surely it would be good, right?
Yeah, because I mean, back in the day, I literally just got like the mum's iPad.
And back in the day, it would have been an old iPad with shitty camera, shitty audio.
The iPad OG, like it was just the iPad.
I actually remember one of them, you were jamming, and then I think your mum was like doing dishes, and she like smashed some plates together.
Yeah,
it was like
all the dogs barking. Yeah. Some of them, I obviously didn't care. But I do remember as well back in the day, I got so into it on mum's iPad, GarageBand on there. I used to make proper recordings with oohs, nahs and like bass lines and a drum track that I'd all do manually, and I got proper into it. Like I would spend evenings and evenings and evenings just I'd wrote a couple songs where I'd actually like did a full recording, and had 10 layers of all these different instruments, and I don't know where they are now, but like they were like I put so much effort into those as a young kid, like 15, 16, 17 years old. They'll be somewhere still, but yeah, that was like I did go through a time of my life of properly trying to like create, you know what I mean? Like create content, and it was fun, but I guess I never got into the tech side of it, never really understood.
I wonder if you'll pick it back up if you jump into GarageBand and try again. Because Money's got into it quite a bit too, right? Making beats.
Yeah, me and him actually got together a couple of times when he got into that, and I was definitely a big help because I had a lot of experience previously, even on the iPad. Like you learn some tips and tricks on there. The computer is so much more elaborate, obviously. But yeah, I was definitely helpful to him, and he was teaching me a lot of stuff on that when he was making some beats. But that's again a different side of it. I was doing all these like live recordings into the mic, I'd plug in the headphones, and then I'd put the headphone around my ear, and then I'd sing into that.
Right.
Or like I'd have, that's how I'd get the sound. So everything was through microphones, and where he would do things just on the keyboard.
Yeah, like he's creating beats.
Yeah,
and you're creating them in a different way by actually doing them.
Yeah, and then recording the sound. Whereas he's like, he'll like drag notes down and up and left and right to create a beat, and that's a completely different skill set in my opinion. You know. So yeah, there's so many different ways to do it, and also like 5 or 6 different kinds of like softwares you can use.
Yeah, I use Audacity for recording.
The Audacity.
Yeah, Audacity. But it's because I'm not an Apple guy, and Apple is GarageBand.
Yeah.
So like when I was doing research for the pod, it was like if you have Windows or Samsung, probably use Audacity. That's what everyone recommends. But if you have Apple, just use GarageBand.
True.
I reckon you should get back into it. I think it'll be cool because you have such a talent with music. Even just whipping that song out just like that.
Yeah.
Like surely, record that.
Yeah.
Just get it in some HD quality.
I do sometimes feel guilty when I don't play guitar or sing in a long time. I do feel guilty because I do know that it is a gift. It is a gift at some level, and I've groomed that gift into something that I can use, and I don't use it enough. I know that.
Again, going back to music, is the way you can make people feel. The way you made me feel in those 2 minutes of playing the song.
Yeah.
Was a pretty amazing feeling. And lots of other, I guess, like gifts, say like you're good at a sport, that's probably a bit more selfish, it's more for you because you're good at that sport. But music, you can almost give back to others with what you can create. Yeah,
that is a nice way to put it. Yeah. There's some special moments in my music career, if you could say, where like I played at a couple of weddings, very privileged to play at some weddings and sung some very beautiful brides down the aisle And those moments are exactly what you're talking about. Like, I'm making a whole group of people cry with just a couple of strums of the start of a song, you know? And just that ability, the power you feel, I guess. It's a sort of a weird feeling where I could just literally just stop and everyone would look at me and go, what are you doing? You know, like, if you wanted to, you could do anything.
It's almost, what's the word? But it's like I'm so immersed into what you're doing. It's like you're, why is this word slipping from my brain? You're like, I can't think of it, but you're like a magician in a way. You're playing tricks on my mind. I'm literally just so engaged in, you know, your song.
Yeah.
That, like you say, if you stopped, it would be like, you know, you're waking out of a spell.
Yeah.
What's happened?
I would describe that as like a flow state. I get into a flow state of playing music, and you can get into a flow state of listening as well. And that can happen in sport where people get into those flow states and things just happen, you know, because you're in that perfect set of mindset. And that absolutely happens. I'll get lost in a song and not even remember where I am, and then I'll come back to at the end of the song. It's like, wow, okay, here I am.
Back to
reality. And yeah, that happens when you're playing. It happens when I'm watching someone play as well, and I'm just mesmerized in their finger movements and the songs the sounds that they're making. That flows, that mesmerized is from both player and playee listener.
Yeah, it's cool to be in that flow state together. Well, you performed at a few random gigs, have you? You told me that you were like pestering some guy at a concert or something to play one time.
Oh, that's...
Did you get to play?
That's happened a couple of times, and I've been a wounder to a couple of people, definitely. There was one in Dublin where it was the people I was with, like, saying, like, you know, give it a crack, and I was like, fuck,
Like, come on, Blissy.
I will give it a crack, you know. And so I went up and I was saying it to this geezer, and he was like, no, like, yes soon, and then he did in the end, and I can't remember what song I sung with him. It's a good time. But in Thailand, it happened where my cousins said to this guy who was just playing music on the side of the street, like, oh, my cousin can play as well. And he just gave me the guitar. And I played a song. Everyone, like, stopped and applauded. And then I was going to give the guitar back. And everyone was like, no, keep going. So I played, like, another 3 songs. And then the guitar string broke. And I felt so guilty. And the guy just didn't even give a shit. He got his scissors out, cuts all the guitar strings off, just gets another guitar out and cracks on with another with his set. But that was just nuts for that moment. I took over this guy's little gig and he broke his guitar string. That was
Yeah, I could see how you would feel guilty because it's like all the attention's now on you.
Yeah, he definitely made the scene of cutting them for a point. Like, don't worry,
right? Like,
I've got another one,
well,
and now that's broken. All of these don't matter.
Good on him.
Picked another guitar up and he was away. But that was pretty cool. Yeah, playing for, I guess, my family overseas in a completely... And it's in a position where you never think you're going to pick up a guitar and play a song.
And it's funny because I could see that as some people's worst nightmare of like going up on stage in front of a group of people. But then you obviously, in that situation, you fine. Did you have no nerves or anything?
Yeah, no, looking forward to it. Yeah. Can't wait to shock people. I guess you got to have faith in yourself. I wouldn't do it if I didn't feel like I could do well. Yeah.
Would you get nerves, do you think, public speaking in front of that same crowd? So you had, I don't know, what's the biggest crowd you've had? Like 100 people at the wedding?
Nah, biggest crowd was Christmas in the Hut. That was like 15,000 people.
Oh,
actually.
wow.
That was a one-off though, by far. That was...
I think I went and watched you for that.
You were there. Yeah. My string broke as well in that day. Yeah.
You and string. So did you feel nerves doing that?
Yeah, that was unreal. That was crazy. And I remember, like I said, my hands got so sweaty in playing that set, and my voice was so shaky. And yeah, I remember I just felt so hot and bothered, and I was not comfortable. But I just went back into that muscle memory zone, you know, where I just had to trust that I would just play the right chords. And I actually sung the wrong lyrics over and over and over and over and over and over in the chorus. But it was what it was because, yeah.
No one would have noticed.
I don't think people did. They probably did because I went to sing along. I was singing that absolute banger Christmas song.
Christmas Carol.
Yeah, it was a Christmas Carol. something about give your heart, break my heart. It's escaping me. But yeah, I was getting the yours and mines the wrong way around.
Right.
And so if you're singing along, like you're like, oh, you got that wrong. Like absolutely. But I guess because I was like a 15, 16-year-old kid,
Let them off.
they let me off. Yeah.
Or maybe you're just adding a special touch to it.
Yeah, maybe. It definitely. I hear that back and it hurts my ears because I've actually gone to more effort to flip the you and the words around.
Right.
Yeah. Made a mirror of it.
Yeah, interesting. So I guess going back to, okay, so you're at the 100-person gig where
Yep.
you got no nerves. Do you think if you went up and were public speaking in front of that same crowd, you'd be nervous?
That's a good question. I've emceed my sister's wedding before, so I guess that is that scenario. I guess I've always felt prepared. I've never felt not prepared. I was the board of trustees at school. I spoke in front of the school many times. I was always prepared. I never felt like. I would say I remember this is the topic of you and Josh's chat: excitement and nerves. Like it's the same thing. Like being excited is you being nervous. You being nervous is you being excited. It's all your senses and your whole body increasing. There could be danger. I've got to be on. You know what I mean? All those things. But for some reason, I've always felt prepared, and so I guess it's just been more of that excited feeling than that nervous or scared or worried that I'm going to muck up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it makes sense. You would be way more nervous if you weren't prepared.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how it's going to go down.
Yeah. Something that comes into my brain now is like if I'm over a putt at golf, and what are you thinking just before the putt? Is it don't miss, or is it this is going in, or is it straight follow through? But if it's don't miss, that's like you're nervous. You're not. Like that's just like negative nerves, like negative excitement. You're not channeling that energy into a good place at all. If you're worrying about the bad.
And even worse than that would be like, oh, I'm never going to be able to make this shot.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is way too far.
But I'll try it, but I'm not going to do it.
But then it's like, you're never going to get it if you got that mindset.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I'm just intrigued by it because I do get quite nervous public speaking.
Yeah.
And it just goes back to like, are people born with it? Do you train your way into it? You're obviously a bit of an entertainer, being able to perform in front of people, music and stuff. But
yeah. I guess like with coaching as well. I mean, I'm in front of people talking. I'm leading a group of people in a discussion, Like I am the leader of that discussion. At football, I'm always leading group discussions, I think I've put myself into situations from when I was 16, I feel, like going into that senior years of college. I put myself into the situations where I was nearly a spokesperson for a lot of situations, So maybe it was through those experiences as a budding teenager, learning your place in the world. Like, when you get exposed to these things, if you're exposed too late in life, it's a big shock to the system. If you're exposed to them earlier, you can sort of work up to that point, Maybe I've just been exposed to more public speaking scenarios in my life, which just has caused me to feel a bit more comfortable.
And you can see it because, I mean, in that footy, like halftime or pre-game speeches, you definitely are just like a natural.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like most people do listen. There's the old person on the sideline that doesn't listen when you shout commands, but
that's right.
It's for another time. All right, Blissy, we're going to round this up. I've just got a little gift to give you before we do.
A gift?
Little gift.
What could it be?
It's nothing too fancy.
Look at that. Insulated.
This is Seymour's insulated shaker.
Nice.
It's a double-walled stainless steel, just for the gym journey. You can use it in the sauna or whatever.
I like it.
Get the plastic out or just use it for your protein shake.
Yeah, you've not been impressed with me bringing my plastic bottle into the sauna.
There you go.
So that's awesome, mate. Thank you.
Small changes. All good. All
yeah,
right.
cool. Cheers, man.